overall evaluations?
Really like their effort and energy, like the physicalness that we played with, like the way we ran to the ball. We did a good job on first down, creating negative yardage plays, putting them behind the sticks, which we was thought important. And really the guys performed and executed the plan. So, I was pleased with it. We kind of obviously talked about it a little bit on Monday, and then we moved on and getting ready for a big game this week.
Dan talked a little bit about that, about how a whole lot of running, last week and this week, La Tech likes to throw the ball a lot. And Is there anything you can kind of take from last week into this week?
Every week is different, so not really. We're facing a different style offense this week. Obviously, there's going to be a little more tempo and a few more passes and that kind of thing. So we've seen that during training camp. That's why you have training camp. So, we'll just continue to work our game plan and be ready to execute.
How do you change the mentality? How do you get guys to show more energy and more juice on Saturdays?
More than last week, or
you come into a new situation.
Yeah.
How do you change your mentality?
Well, I mean, it's all about your habits, about your habitual traits. It really started back in January when we first got here, and getting guys to buy into the system and what we're doing. And during the spring, we actually had a lot of team meetings early on to define things for players. In other words, define what a loaf is, define what effort to the ball is, define what a physical play is, define what a not physical play is. Because, I really do believe guys want to do well, and you can talk about it, but I think you got to show them and teach them. And it's not so much you're after them when you're doing it, that you are that at times, but you're also educating guy. You're defining things. This is what running to the ball looks like. This is what a physical play looks like. This is what playing tight coverage looks like. This is not playing tight. So you define things on tape for guys, and also I think it's important that their peers see it, because what your peers think of you as a player is important, and we're all in it together. We got a certain standard we want to play by, and got a certain identity that we want to play, and it's going to take everybody that's traveling or on the sidelines to do that. So we're all in it together. So we just got to make sure we have a good understanding.
The pass defense was pretty much untested this past Saturday. How do you feel about it going into this week?
Well, obviously we're going to get tested this week. I think our guys have worked hard. We're obviously going to get challenged this week, so we'll just have to wait and see.
JT Gray has kind of switched from linebacker to that more hybrid nickel role. Just how's that transition work for him?
It's worked good. He's really playing a similar position to last year as far as he's on number 2 displaced. We've probably added a little bit of his arsenal as far as techniques and fundamentals and things that we ask him to do relative to that position. He's a very conscientious guy. He's got some talent to him. He wants to be a good player, and he's bought into our system. And he played hard on Saturday and made some plays for us, and certainly expect him to continue to do that moving forward.
What are some of the things that you've necessarily added to his role?
I would say the coverage element. There's probably a little bit more that we're asking him to do coverage-wise, from leverage on receivers to how you play them, to your technique in the zone, and that kind of thing. So I'd say we've expanded that a little bit.
What about, now that you had a chance to see the film a little bit, Willie Gay, what did you think about his first game action?
Willie did a good job. He went in and understood the calls, could communicate coming off the sidelines, or coming off over to the sidelines, after a series. He can run. His ability to run and accelerate showed up. I think his first tackle was actually a tackle for loss. And he's a talented guy that will continue to get better, so we've just got to continue to put him in the game and let him continue to improve, because that's how you get better, is by playing. So we'll continue to develop him and install him in the game.
A couple other first time to get on this field guys, Trey Brown and Kobe. What would you think?
Well, Trey did a nice job. Trey helped out on the safety, and one time on third down they tried to run the ball and he made a play. I thought Trey really showed up from a physicality standpoint. Kobe got his hands on a couple balls. He raked one out and actually had his hat on the ball on another one, and they were close to being fumbles. And actually one was a fumble and it popped back up to the guy. So he was active in that regard. And, like I've said, Kobe's an energy guy, effort guy, program guy, and, he's going to have a role for us, and we'll continue to feed him in that role and let him be a part of our team.
On a similar subject, Montez, his first time out there, looked like he was productive. What do you think?
I thought Tez did a really good job. He's physical. He's long. He has pass rush skills, you know. He's a guy that can make some one-on-one plays both in the run game and the pass. And he likes football. He's a guy that's really bought into our system and has worked hard, so we'll continue to develop him. And, hope we see the production that we need moving forward.
How much time did he spend hand in the dirt? How much time did he spend standing up?
Well, we really cross-train him in the sense that that's really the same position.
Yeah.
And he actually played all of spring, maybe other than maybe 3 or 4 practices, just as a 2-point stance, outside backer kind of guy, because his background was the other way. He was really more of a 4-3 end, and we just developed him that way. And now he can play either spot for us, and he actually does play linebacker and end based upon what we're in. And he's a smart guy that can handle that, and we'll continue to develop him that way.
Does that skill set kind of naturally throw him into some more playmaking opportunities than others?
Anytime you're rushing, you're going to have a chance to make a play. So, yeah.
You made a point of the safety rotation early on. Coach Mullen seemed pretty pleased with how y'all did that in game one. What do you think of that unit?
I thought the safeties played really well. The biggest thing is we were very minimal in our missed tackles. I mean, the longest run of the day was 8 yards. And, that's, the way you got to be good on defense is you got to make people drive it through you. You can't let them get explosive plays and big plays and get, easy yards and that kind of thing. And it can come from breakdowns and things like that, but it can also come from yards after the catch or missed tackles and things. And if guys are running to the ball and doing those kind of things, and we keep leverage on the ball, and you work on your tackling, then you have a chance to hold that stuff to a minimal gain.
Out of that